Greetings and welcome to another practice with Yoga on the Road. I am Anita. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and joining this part of this community. So today's tutorial is all about breaking down a morning flow. So by that I mean a sun salutation, and we're looking particularly at sun salutation B today. We will move through the sequence, break it down by adding props to help you optimize those poses. So what you will need for this practice is a couple of blocks, whatever form you have them in. You'll need a strap, and by a strap I mean something that you're able to create a decent size loop in so that it's about shoulder distance apart. If you have any knee issues, probably a blanket to support your knees when we are resting on the knees. A mat, a space that's free from distraction, and just your attention and willingness to be here and to play around and to get a little curious with me. So learning a morning sequence can really help you to set up your day. And the beauty about learning a sequence is that you commit that sequence to memory. So you're supporting your practice by doing something that you know is kind of coming naturally to you with more practice of the sequence. The beauty about developing individual components is it gives you alignment ideas, it gives you some playfulness with your practice, and it gives you the opportunity to just practice one element of that sequence if that's how you feel when you arrive to your mat in the morning. A sequence like this can really support kind of 40 plus age bracket. It helps, during that age our muscle tone can tend to decrease, so there's opportunities for muscle engagement through this sequence. Things like bladder control, so we focus more on the deep kind of core and pelvic muscles to support that bladder control. And the other thing is memory can tend to take leave. So, you're supporting all those little elements as we build on a practice like this. When taking a practice like this, the more you develop it into a habit, so for instance, practicing something like this 3 to 4 times a week starts to really add such an invaluable tool for you, for your whole body and mind health and wellness. So it's a great support of your whole body health. I think I've found that adding yoga to my routine is now one of those non-negotiables. It's become one of those things that I actually thrive on to set up my day. Yoga has really helped me to increase my body awareness. The more I practice, the more I'm noticing about my body. It's definitely helped me to maintain my body weight, and particularly during that perimenopausal state of life. So I'm probably even more conscious now about more regularity around my routine. It definitely supports my memory as I recall steps and sequences that I move through. I tend to spend more time now at the end of a sequence and just try and recall what I've done, whether that's through memory or body and muscle memory. And it's definitely added a very, very important tool for my personal self-care. So let's begin our movement practice today. Come to a comfortable seated position for you, and I just want you to take a moment, once you've made yourself comfortable, free of any distractions. If you feel okay with closing down your eyes, and I'm guessing that you feel safe, you're in a safe place, then close down your eyes and gently draw your awareness to your breath, just to the rise and the fall of your breath. And at this stage, we're not doing anything to change the breath. We're just noticing how it moves, the textures, how it feels, how our body responds. Notice whether that awareness of your breath helps to support and calm your nervous system and slow you down. Use the breath for a tool to support the movement component of your practice. So the moment you become more aware of your breath, the moment you can start to really access the breath to support your practice. Sit here with your breath for another 3 rounds, noticing your inhale, noticing your exhale, noticing perhaps even whether there's a pause between the inhale and the exhale. If you are in the habit of creating an intention, now is a lovely time to do that. The intention can be something that you wish to take away from the mat today. It can be something that you wish to travel into your life with once you're off the mat. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Take an audible sigh or exhale out through the mouth. Okay, let's get moving. Come to position yourself in an all-4 position. Again, if your knees are quite sensitive, take a blanket and just prop your knees on the blanket. And then ensure that your hands are slightly in front of the line of your shoulders. Your knees are slightly behind the line of your hips. And then as you inhale, draw the belly down towards the mat. Have a feeling of opening, expanding through the front of your body. With your next exhale, have a feeling of recoiling that energy all the way up from the navel towards the spine, tucking the chin in. Breathe in, open the front of the body. Breathe out. Draw the energy from the navel all the way back to the spine, lifting the navel, engaging the core, tucking your tailbone. Breathe in. Allow the breath to fill the whole front of your body. Breathe out, round through the spine, create space between the shoulder blades, tuck the chin in. The next time you breathe in, press and extend out through the right heel, ensuring that your hips are still level with the floor. On your next exhale, tuck the knee in beneath the body, round through the spine, draw the nose towards your knee. And then just hover here with natural breath cycle, feeling the energy from your navel draw up towards the spine to keep that leg lifted. And then as you breathe in again, press and extend out through the heel. One more time. As you exhale, tuck the knee in beneath the body, knee towards nose, lift the navel up towards the spine, press down firmly into the hands, round through your shoulders. On your next inhale, press and extend away, out through the heel, exhale, lower to the ground. Let's shift to the other side now. As you inhale, press and extend out through the left heel this time. As you exhale, curl the leg and the knee in beneath the body, round through the spine, nose towards the knee. Hold here for just a little moment. Use the core by drawing the back of the navel up towards the spine. Maybe even a little engagement of the pelvic floor here to assist you. Press and extend away out through the left heel. Inhale here. Last one as you exhale, knee beneath the body towards the nose, curling the spine strongly towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Press and extend out through the heel. Exhale, lower. Okay, we're coming up now to move through our first sun salutation B. So tuck the toes beneath the body, round slightly through the spine as you settle the hips back a little towards the heels. Press down firmly into the toe mounds, press down firmly into the finger mounds and palms of your hand. First downward dog of the practice. So add any accommodations you need to. Knees bent here. Slowly pedaling the legs. And then wherever you arrive, inhale, look forward towards the hands. Exhale, step or walk to the top of the mat. As you breathe in, let the hands slide up the front of the shins, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Press down firmly into the foundation, which are your feet, and slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Allowing the hands, the head to be completely heavy. Stack vertebrae by vertebrae, and as soon as you reach the top, you're going to do a big roll of your shoulders, drawing the shoulder blades back onto your back. Inhale, lift the arms up. Look up if it feels okay for your neck. And then exhale, take a big deep bend of the knees. Draw the arms down alongside the outside of the legs. And then inhale, lift the arms up. Again, look up if it feels okay for your neck. Utkatasana or chair pose. As you inhale, take a full body stretch here. And then exhale, folding from the hips, leading with the belly. Slowly come down into a forward fold. As you inhale here, halfway lift. Then as you exhale here, step or walk back to plank position. Plank position can look in its full variation like one long line of the body. Shoulders are positioned over your wrists, or option B can be knees to the ground. So shoulders are still positioned over the wrists. As you exhale, slowly lower all the way to the ground. Keep shifting your weight forward. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Lift and engage the legs. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, push back via tabletop. Come to plank, and then transition back to downward facing dog. And here you'll step your right foot forward. So just as we did on our hands and knees, tuck the knee in towards the nose. And then options are to step or to assist that foot in between the hands, or if you have room to step the foot forward. Position your feet so your body is supported. Inhale, lift all the way up. Modified warrior one. Exhale, frame the front foot. Step back to plank position. Your variation of lower to the ground. Inhale, baby cobra, chest opens. Exhale, push back through your variation of plank to downward dog. Inhale here. Exhale, step or assist the left foot forward between the hands. Make sure the feet are positioned to keep you stable. Inhale, Warrior one, we're now on the opposite side. Exhale, frame your front foot. Step back to plank. Exhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, rise up, baby cobra, or you may even move into upward facing dog if that's in your practice. Exhale, move back via plank to downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, step, jump, hop or walk, whatever's in your practice, to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, deep end of the knees. We're moving back into Utkatasana or chair pose. Hands rise up. Keep the ribs drawing back, navel drawing back. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. And now we're going to break that down slightly. So take your block and you're going to place the block between the thighs and squeeze them together. We're going to use the block to support us in Utkatasana or chair pose. So squeezing the block firmly together, bend the knees. Inhale, lift the arms up and then draw the shoulders back towards one another and down away from the ears. And then just work by moving gently forwards and backwards. So what you're doing here is a weight shift, so that you feel your weight in the front of the foot, the back, the heels, and then find some point in between those two spots. Inhale, lift the arms up. Great way for toning the muscles of the legs, even a little bit of core work going on here. Keep squeezing the blocks here. And then inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, release hands towards the heart. Remove the block. And then we're going to play around now with a little plank pose support. So we're actually building a cradle for the chest area to support us. So ideally what you want is a loop. You're going to measure it so it's about shoulder width. And then when you place your cradle on, you want the buckle away from you so that when you actually come into your cradle, that buckle isn't pressing into you. Now, word of advice or warning or whatever you want to call it here, boobs can tend to get in the way. So if this is a practice that just doesn't feel comfortable for you, then that's fine. Just leave it out of the practice. It can still be practiced even with a block, using a block to help support the upper body. So the way we practice this is once the arms are settled, you want your hands to be about shoulder distance apart or slightly wider than shoulder distance. Okay, and then remember we're coming from plank and dipping down. So your choice of plank will be either the full extended variation, lowering the knees to the ground, and then the weight is always shifting forward. As the weight shifts forward, your elbows start to bend until the ribs, so just below the boob area, boobs may even be involved here, you'll feel this kind of cradle that stops you from moving any further. This helps you with your alignment of the shoulders somewhat. And then here you can also, so there's this tendency for the hips to sag here. Have a feeling of drawing the energy from the navel up towards the spine to keep the core engaged, and then play around with extending that or not. And then from here, slowly start to lower the thighs and the hips towards the ground as you open and present the chest forwards and out. As you exhale, Slowly melt back to child's pose. Remove the strap here. Remember, there's always opportunities to come back and revisit that part of the practice. If the strap wasn't comfortable for you, then possibly your go-to could be used or supported better with a block. So similar kind of setup here. Hands are just slightly forward of the block. Body weight is forward. And then as you shift your weight forward and start to lower, lower till your ribs or just below the belly, the boobs are rested on the block. And again, tendency for this part to sag. So you really want to lift the navel up towards the spine, engage the core. The core will help to support lifting the hips, and then you can play around with this full variation. Slowly lower the knees to the ground. You could even come into this upward facing dog position and then settle the hips back to child's pose. We'll just take a short rest here. We'll continue on our journey of finishing our sun salutation B and then slowly start to wind it down. So take 4 breaths here in child's pose. Inhale, come back to tabletop. This time we're adding a little lift to the front of the body, just to give you a gauge on how it can change your downward dog and also how it can create space for that step through for warrior 1. So come to all fours, knees just behind the line of the hips. You know where the hands go. They're on the block on the lowest level. Tuck your toes under, press back to downward facing dog. Now we're stepping the right foot through first. So as you inhale, you're going to shift your body weight forward, shoulders shift out over the wrists. At the same time, draw the knee in towards the nose. And then it's a little flick of the foot to stand through. Again, there is no problem to lower the foot and physically assist that foot through. All right, so we're in this shape here, which gives us an opportunity to play around with the foot position at the back. So options are generally the heel lifted, such as what I'm doing now, or turning the foot at a 45-degree angle and lowering the heel and the whole foot towards the ground. There's a tendency here for the back hip to follow. So just play around with how it feels for you. When you find a position, rise up. And then just sit in the pose, making a few adjustments, playing around with the foot position, getting a little curious and playful how that feels for you. As you exhale, bring the hands back to the blocks. Take the blocks back to their lowest level. Lift the heel if the heel was planted. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, a little mini flow in between side changes. Come forward to plank. Your plank is going to be higher now. Lower the knees to the ground. Rock the weight forward. Lower the chest towards the ground. Inhale, little baby cobra, or option to come into upward dog. Exhale, press back downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale here, weight shifts forward, shoulders over the wrists, knee tucks in towards the nose, and a little flick or an assist through. Left foot steps forward. Again, the blocks come up to your medium level. Are you a heel lifter or a heel planter? Play around with those options. Once you find your foot position. Inhale, lift and rise up. Just allow this to be an opportunity for you to notice, feel and be body aware, muscle engagement switched on. As you exhale, slowly lower the hands to the blocks. We're moving through our very last flow here now. Pressing the hands into the blocks. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, shift the weight forward, lower towards the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the ground. Just swing your feet out to one side and come to rest on your back. We're going to take a gentle twist here. Allow your arms to extend out to the sides. Take your feet a good hip distance apart, maybe even mat width apart, and then just knock the knees in towards one another. Gently let the knees sway from one side to the other side. Might even incorporate some head movement here. So as your knees move to the right, the head might move to the left. If you have time available to you today, it's always a really lovely practice to get into, just giving yourself an opportunity to rest, to absorb your practice, to become a little more in tune with your body, to become a little more in tune with your breath and any other internal observations. It's okay to let your attention shift from an internal awareness to accessing your senses in your external environment. Again, take as much time as you have available here for you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me once again. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the little bell so you can get notified of future tutorials. I'm definitely going to do another series where we look at that Warrior One with a little bit more prop support available to you, and of course opportunities to play around and to get curious and to be kid-like and whatever else. From the bottom of my heart to yours, namaste.